Hello, and welcome to the 8th episode of The Verdict. My name's Alan Barty.
I'm Lucian Parrish.
And I'm Ethan Redon.
And on today's episode, we're going to be going over the crazy and strange mind of Tim Burton. This is The Verdict, spoilers ahead. And welcome back. The movie that I picked was the 1993 holiday classic, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Welcome to an extraordinary world filled with magic and wonder. Open your mind and let yourself go to a place where every day is Halloween and every night Jack Skellington
I am the Pumpkin King!
dreams of something different.
What is this? It's someplace new.
Jack, look out!
What's this? What's this? There's color everywhere. What's this? There's white things in the air. What's this? I can't believe my eyes. I must be dreaming. Wake up, Jack. This isn't fair. What is this?
Haven't you heard of peace on earth and goodwill toward men?
Touchstone Pictures presents the enchanting story of two very special dreamers and the holiday spirit that brought them together. From the imagination of Tim Burton comes The Nightmare Before Christmas.
And what did Santa bring you, honey?
And welcome back. So the funny thing is about The Nightmare Before Christmas, look, I'm not going to go over like a summary of it or anything big because everybody must see Nightmare Before Christmas by now or see something of it. Like every time you go to like the mall, like Walmart, they always post up Night Before Christmas even before Christmas even started or even Halloween, let's be honest with you. But the thing about The Night Before Christmas is that people usually leave out Henry Selick. And people who don't know who Henry Selick is, he's pretty much this great stop motion animation director. He's worked on other films like James and the Giant Peach. He's worked on other films like Coraline, which came out in 2009. And I think every time, Night Before Christmas comes about, they always prop up like Tim Burton. Even like you look at the trailer, they have Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, even though Henry Selick is also a big part of this. But, have you seen this movie before? Is this your first time? Have you seen like pieces before?
I had never actually seen the whole thing until we were doing this episode. And one thing like when it popped up when you were doing the intro, this came out in 1993. I didn't believe that because I think it just holds up, the stop motion and everything. It just holds up. I think it's like a timeless kind of style. I mean, you can kind of tell it's a little age, but I think it really has held the test of time so far.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to that movie, I was really astonished by the stop motion. When I was looking at it, I was thinking about how long this must have taken in order to make it. Because those all little, motions, like the fire when he was doing that little dance at the beginning of the Halloween, I was just really impressed with, how Disney really did this movie. And I really liked the musicals.
Oh yeah, the music in this movie is fantastic. Of course, everybody knows this is Halloween. That's a classic one. My personal favorite is the Oogie Boogie song because for people who don't know, Oogie Boogie is inspired by Cat Calloway. People who know him from the Blues Brothers, all that kind of stuff. But the animation really holds up because it has this very timeless feel to it. It reminds me a lot of the Reagan Bass Christmas specials, like when Santa Claus comes to town or Year Out Santa Claus. This gives this very classic feel to it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they took inspiration from those classic stop motion films. Yeah. And the thing about this movie is that people always have this debate of okay, is this more of a Christmas movie or more of a Halloween movie? And I would say it's pretty much equal to both. They play this movie every year. I remember growing up watching it always on Halloween and on Christmas on ABC Family all the time. And so this movie really does bridge the gap. And I think that was the main, point of the movie is then to bridge the gap and make a kind of critique and also an analysis of how every year that you always have Halloween and that you always have Christmas right after. And so it's pretty much blending the two worlds together. But are there any favorite scenes that you guys stood out to you or remember?
I just like it, the scene where he first goes to the Christmas town, that him just like experiencing all that joy and stuff. I really just like that whole kind of sequence when I was watching it.
My favorite so far has to be the Oogie Boogie one, because it was like, at the beginning, he was like this really ominous character. Like, well, when those 3 kids like fed him something, I already forgot what it was. But when Santa Claus went through that chute, we got to see him for like the first ever time, and he looked crazy.
Oh yeah, pretty much just a bag of bones. I mean, not a bag of bones, just a bag with bugs in it, pretty much. Yeah, this film does have, you know, very dark elements to it. Like this one scene with the trick-or-treaters where they're singing the whole song, killing Mr. Santa Claus, and they go over how to kill the man. Like they talk about locking up in like a cell for 30 years and see like how he looks, like dumping him in acid. So they go like very like mature with this movie in some aspects. And that's why I would imagine this was placed under Touchstone. Because at the end of the day, this is a Disney property. But the thing about Nightmare Before Christmas, I think critically or financially, it didn't do well at first. Because people were like, yeah, whatever. But then, you know, as the years went on, it became more of a cult classic where if you go to your nearest Hot Topic, Spencer's, or whatever, you're going to see the Nightmare Before Christmas everywhere. Like how you mentioned, that it's going to be on every golf girl's
back of her car, yeah. And one thing also is there's like the merch and stuff. Like you said, we're going to Walmart and everything. Growing up, my stepmom, actually, she loves this. And like all at my dad's house, they have like just so much like Night Before Christmas stuff. And I remember when I first married, she like was very just like ridiculing me that I've never seen it, because that is like hands down her favorite movie. And I now have a reason to tell her that I have actually watched it.
Oh yeah, and I guess it was around this area where this was during like the Disney Renaissance, where it came out, and it was like really revolutionary, of course, because you know it combined like that greatness of like stop motion. So do you guys have like any final thoughts about the movie? Any favorite characters that you really did love about the movie? Any critiques that you guys have since it's like your first time seeing it?
I will say I'm not the biggest fan of musicals, but since this was Tim Burton and Danny Elfman did the music, it really did help me like it, and like I actually ended up liking the songs. As someone who does not really care for musicals that much, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah, same with me. I'm not a very big musical guy. I'm a lot more like action paced. Like I like fight scenes, I like anime, that sort of stuff like that. But when it comes to like the movie itself, the art style really sells it for me. I feel like it's one of those movies that the older it gets, the better it's gonna look. And favorite characters, I really like Sally. I think she's a little bit weird about drugging her pretty much dad the entire time, trying to escape. But I do like the fact that she's trying to like actually like be there for Jack, trying to help him. He's like going through something, like he's not really himself because he found out what Christmas was. So I do like her a lot, but I do also like Jack. He's a pretty nice character, almost like a villain sometimes.
Yeah, but you know, sorry, we have to move on, sadly. But after a quick break, we're going to look at our next feature film.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. The movie I chose for this week is the Tim Burton take on the classic Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This movie came out in 2005, and it is technically like a reboot of the 1971 film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, as well as the novel. Let's check out the trailer.
Have you ever seen a single person going into that factory?
There must be people working there.
The only thing that comes out of that place is the candy. I'd give anything in the world just to go in that amazing factory.
Dear people of the world, I, Willy Wonka, have decided to allow 5 children to visit my factory.
5 golden tickets have been hidden underneath the wrapping paper of 5 ordinary Wonka bars.
Wouldn't it be something, Charlie, to open a bar of candy and find a golden ticket?
But I only get 1 bar a year.
Nothing's impossible.
You found Wonka's last golden ticket.
From director Tim Burton.
Please enter.
Who are you?
He's Willy Wonka.
I'm Sally Beauregard.
I don't care.
I want my soft loop. I love the chocolate.
I can see that.
I'm Veruca Salt. Daddy, I want another pony.
You're my TV.
Die, die, die!
Okay. And you. Well, you're just lucky to be here, aren't you?
Welcome to the factory.
Warner Brothers invites you to enter a whole new world, unlike anything you've ever imagined,
It's beautiful.
where dreams are your reality.
Look over there.
They're Oompa Loompas.
Back off, you little freaks.
I do say that all seemed rather rehearsed.
You're really weird.
And Willy Wonka
Let's boogie.
is your guide.
Ew.
5 lucky kids will follow in his footsteps.
I want a squirrel.
Don't touch that squirrel's nuts.
Why is everything here completely pointless?
But only one
Candy doesn't have to have a point. That's why it's candy.
will find his heart.
Hold on.
Johnny Depp, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Wow.
All right, so this movie, obviously, I think everybody's seen at least the original first. You know, obviously, Charlie gets the golden ticket, gets a chance to go to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory with these other kids who are honestly just kind of like have their own problems. And as they go through the factory, each kid kind of gets picked off and stuff. But what really I think differentiates this from the Gene Wilder one, you know, is honestly I think is just Johnny Depp's performance in this, because he like just the whole movie. He is just like, I remember the first time I watched this, I didn't know it was Johnny Depp because it was just, he looked so like sickly and gaunt, and like his voice was so different and everything. But I really think his performance sells this movie. Just the dialogue and even the jokes, just like some of the stuff he says is like so just like when at the beginning he says like, he's like, "Good morning, starshine, the earth says hello," like just stuff like that. It's just so goofy and stuff. And I actually saw an interview with Johnny Depp. He was talking about doing the character for that movie. He actually studied a bunch of kid show hosts to like come up with that performance and that voice. And I just found that very entertaining, that it's almost like an amalgamation of like, you know, a bunch of different kid show hosts. That's maybe why it's like so like kind of weird to us. What are you guys' thoughts of the movie?
Yeah, you know, this is the first time I ever seen like Willy Wonka back in the day. I never saw the original one. I saw this one first, and then I saw like 1971 one. And the thing about, you know, Johnny Depp's portrayal of Willy Wonka is that he does have that kind of kid innocence to him. Like he acts like a kid and everything. I mean, there's some like creepy moments with him where he just like smiling and everything, and it's kind of like, oh, this is kind of getting a little weird. But like I don't know, like throughout this movie, I just remember feeling like this is one big trip that I'm not getting off of, and I kind of want to get off sometimes. Like the thing, you know, honest with you, the thing that made me laugh was when, you know, Willy Wonka's father was like, "If you come back, I won't be there." And I thought, okay, he's just gonna be peace out. No,
the
he
whole house.
he took the whole building.
I remember seeing it as a kid, being like so confused. I'm like, what? He just like disappeared, and then the movie shows back up. Yeah, I honestly forgot about that part. Yeah. What about you, Ethan?
Am I the only one that thinks it's like a borderline horror film? Like almost?
It might be, yeah. If you could probably take it like that. Yeah,
I mean, the thing is that in the original movie, when the kids get quote unquote, I guess, not mutilated,
get taught their lesson, I guess.
Taught their lesson, quote unquote.
Taught their lesson.
Like, they never show the aftermath, but at the end where they're like, yeah, you know, the kid that got small, yeah, we had to stretch him out, but they never showed it in the original. Here, he's like this giant.
It's like a sheet of paper.
Paper that's long. Like the blue girl got squeezed out. Now she's extra flexible. I mean, you can tell this is that Tim Burton quote unquote horror spin to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I will say, out of all the kids, I think though, the rich spoiled girl got off. They just got covered in garbage. I mean, like that. I thought they got let off the easiest out of everybody there. They just got covered in.
That squirrel scene scared me as a kid.
Really?
They were looking so erratic, and she was terrified, and I felt terrified with her. I was like, oh God.
I mean, that's the thing from the original that they changed for this one, is that in the original 1971, it was a bunch of ducks, you know, laying golden eggs.
Yeah.
But this one, they decided to make a squirrel for some reason.
Yeah, I enjoy like the little text like that and stuff, like the Mike TV stuff as well. Like the whole sequence of him going through like the music sequence. I'm going through the TVs. I enjoyed that, just like flipping through the channels and stuff. And one thing is just obviously again the music. Danny Elfman again. He did the music for all three of our movies, but And it just, I love all the music. There's not a song I don't like in this movie that they do, you know. And I think that there's good comedic value in the songs as well, you know. Especially in when Augustus falls in the chocolate river and they're doing that whole sequence because he's getting like sucked up in the tube, you know.
Yeah, you know, the Oompa Loompas are definitely different from the original one. And the funny thing is that the thing I brought up, you know, before we went on is that in the original they were just orange creatures.
Yeah.
But this one they go for a more, I guess,
ethnic look,
like indigenous people approach to it, which. Like looking back on it, it was like, yeah, I didn't know it, but looking now, it's kind of
it's almost like a white savior kind of complex.
Yeah, because this is set in quote unquote Britain, and so you bring all these people,
indigenous people here to work for you.
Yeah,
it does sound a little bad.
It's kind of weird, but
because I can think in the original one, it's like they're orange with green hair. It's like okay, you know.
And they never really into the background, but in this one, they were like, yeah, we found them in the deep forest or jungle somewhere. I'm like, this is kind of weird.
Just came up and gave him a job. It's fine.
Yeah, I do enjoy it. I believe all the Oompa Loompas are played by one actor. I think his name's Deep Roy or it's something like that. And he plays all of them. I think that's so funny.
Yeah, you know, just to touch back on that, you know, the special effects I think hold up pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, when they first make that girl like this big blue orb thing, that was like, okay, that looks good. But in some aspects, I could tell, you know, the rough edges are kind of showing just a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing with movies from this era too. It's just going to show, and especially here recently, I've been looking at older movies. I think we've just gotten so trained at like looking at very good CGI and stuff. When we go back to stuff like that, it's like kind of as an eyesore.
I mean, some CGI that comes out nowadays is
it's
pretty rough, but not to like the people who do the CGI's fault. It's just, you know, time crunch and all that.
Yeah, and budget as well, you know, because it's expensive to do stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's horrible. It's very expensive.
And they work long hours like that as well. And also, just like the main actor for Charlie in this movie, I cannot think of his name for the life of me, but I think it's great because he got roles after. I know like a lot of actors when they get like kid roles like this, they kind of like fall off the face of the earth. But this, he's in The Good Doctor, and
that's where I see him from. Because he looks familiar.
And he was in Bates Motel as well. He was the main. Yeah.
Wait, it's that dude?
Yeah, that's him as a kid. God. Yeah. And so I think it's really cool because he's a good actor, and it was nice to see he actually got work after this because I know a lot of kid stars, they get like a role like this and they just disappear.
Oh yeah, you know, the acting throughout the whole movie is pretty good amongst the kids. Like they're very believable.
Believable
little. We can't say it, but I mean, they're one mom, so I'm like, parents, you better go get these kids. Like, come on now. But I don't know, like throughout the movie, like I was having a good time. You know, I know this movie has gotten flack, you know, throughout the years of its like criticized and not being a really, I guess, good adaptation of Willy Wonka. Feels like it has to go like. Add that Tim Burton creepiness of it where it has to go over the top and just strange, just for strange sake sometimes. But I feel like it works with Willy Wonka.
It does. And like all like seeing all the little technology and stuff, like all the gadgets and gizmos are like in the place as well. I think that's a really cool addition.
Yeah, I feel like
it's like a lab.
Yeah, I feel like this factory is more mechanical and more factory because in the original, when you went into like the giant room with the candy effort, with the chocolate fountain,
the bubbles,
like it looked like delicious. But then in this movie, like they do show the chocolate fountain, but it just looks like sludge. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it looks like sludge. I mean, it's very
Yeah, I just wouldn't.
Because like in the original, it just looks like brown water, like the chocolate.
Yeah. Well, stick around because we got one more movie to talk about after these messages.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
Movie I'm going to be talking about today is Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland, this one from 2010 is a continuation of the book where Alice in Wonderland is a little bit aged up and now goes back into the Wonderland that she used to be in. Let's look at the trailer.
There is a place like no place on earth. Some say to survive it, you need to be as mad as a hatter. Which luckily, I am. Alice, it's you.
You're back.
Alice!
Alice!
The Alice? You're absolutely Alice. I'd know you anywhere.
You're all late for tea!
Alice has returned to Wonderland.
Since you've been gone, the Red Queen has taken over all of Wonderland.
Find her!
Help us make the world right again.
Over there! I need a pig here. I love a warm pig belly for my aching feet. Stop that. We have our champion.
Hold on tightly.
This is impossible.
And if you believe it is.
This movie is all over the place. I wouldn't say as crazy as the book, but it's a lot to take in, really. It's just, everyone calls themselves mad in like the movies. The Queen just using those animals, and then has the audacity to call someone crazy when they're talking about stuff. It was, like I said, a lot to take in. What did y'all think about it?
So I haven't seen this movie in a minute. I remember seeing it, I guess, back in the day on Disney Channel somewhere. And this movie was, of course, panned by critics and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look into details, but for me, I enjoyed it. I mean, I can definitely see like why some critics would not enjoy this, because it feels kind of like, okay, like, where are we going with this movie? Because like it starts out with Alice coming back to Wonderland, and then it goes into the plot of like, yeah, so we got to fight back the Red Queen and everything.
Yeah, it just felt like a little like weird and like forced.
Gotta kill this dragon.
I mean, that did happen in the book, I believe so. You know, Alice versus the Jabberwocky, or some adaptation of Alice in Wonderland before this, of Alice fighting the Jabberwocky, you know, with the Volter blade. What was it?
The Vorpal blade.
Vorpal blade. Okay. And so I guess the big standout for a lot of people is Johnny Depp. But the funny thing is, like, if you look around like the advertisement for this movie, they put Johnny Depp up front. Like, I know this is called Alice in Wonderland, but Johnny Depp is
front and center,
up front on the posters. He's the first thing you see. Look at him. He's the star. And they don't even mention like the actress's name for this movie at all.
And I believe that this was that actress's first role. I think she was pretty young when she took this movie, which is honestly crazy to get this to be like your kind of breakout role, to be a movie like this. But also, I found like, I think the movie manages to capture that like magic of the Disney animated movie. I think it manages to like encapsulate that, and it shows a good like interpretation of all the characters from that movie. It doesn't really like, even the cat and everything. You know, it's a nice. I think it's a good interpretation for live action, because I know for movies like this, stuff can go bad. People like, you know, trying to bring stuff like that to live action, but I think they did
I have
a pretty good job.
That all of the characters were very accurate in their representation, like specifically like the Cheshire Cat and the Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter always been insane. There is no stopping that, and he felt a little bit toned down with a little bit of anger issues. And I felt like that was very nice. It was like a good change of pace for what he originally was. The Cheshire Cat is he's still one of my favorite characters, because he's just a slimy trickster.
You know, the funny thing is that, yeah, you have the Mad Hatter, but usually he's like with the Mad Hare, and he's not barely in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah.
I mean, I was wondering, like, what was the script process of it? Because, of course, originally you had like the Mad Hatter, and you had the Mad, Hare with him all the time in the movie. So I was wondering, what was like was it like, okay, let's cast Johnny Depp, but then Johnny Depp kind of took over the role and he became more of a focal point of the movie? Because you look at the original Alice in Wonderland that Disney did, Alice didn't really interact with the Mad Hatter that much. So I was wondering where like the story like came up.
It might have been one of those things like, oh, we can do this, and they probably like just kind of like scrambled to get it done, you know, whatever. And of course, you know, he's like, I had to have Johnny Depp. I feel like Johnny Depp was like, I'll do the movie, but I have to have more screen time.
Yeah, the Mad Hatter was definitely like a side point in the books, definitely a side point in the movies as well. They really focused on him, though. Alice was like, I gotta go save him, because, you know, Johnny Depp was a real good actor, and he killed his role.
Yeah. And another thing about the movie is that it is very dark for kids, especially small kids, because there literally is a scene where you have the Queen of Hearts castle, but it's surrounded by a moat of heads that she chopped off, including the King of Hearts. And I'm like, wow, this is very dark. And there's even a scene where Alice even is small and has to go over the moat and has to jump, even has her foot caught in one of the mouths of one of the dead heads. And it's kind of like, wow, this is very, very dark. I wonder how small kids will react to this. And there's even, they did like a change with like the Queen of Hearts where this is thing with her head being big.
Yeah. And like when you first see it, it's just like I thought it was like when I first saw it, I thought it was pretty goofy. But as time went on, I was like, okay, I get like it was a stylistic choice, but like
I guess it's like that question of like, yeah, but why though? Like,
yeah, it's like I mean, just because you can,
because it's weird.
Yeah, like just because you can doesn't mean you should. I mean, like because I feel like that kind of took away from the performance. Because like every scene I saw, I'm like, man, her head is
like you look goofy.
Yeah, you look goofy.
And I mean, not to say it, but there's some other people who they're faking it, but they have like more exaggerated body parts. And there's like one woman which is like very adult. Well, I'm like, wow, I guess they got away with that. Like I was wondering if they were able to do these certain jokes and certain things because there is also a scene where I forgot the guy's name, but he's pretty much the assistant to the Queen of Hearts.
His name was Stain, and I don't like him one bit.
Yeah, and he gets very creepy with Alice because she gets bigger and has like a big head, and he's like,
yeah, he was like, I like big women. She's like, no,
yeah,
no.
I'm like, Tim Burton, come on, man, this is for kids.
It might be one of them things. He's like, I wonder what I can get away with this movie because since he was making it for Disney, so I wonder if he was just like, I wonder what I can get away with, and he just started pitching stuff. They're like, okay, that's fine. He's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll do it.
Yeah. So speaking of Disney, this was before Disney really put the metal on the pedal when it comes to all these live action like Disney like reboots, remakes, whatever you want to call it. Like recently they just announced they're doing like a Moana like live action like movie, even though Moana came out in 2016.
Really? I thought it was like 2017.
No, 2016.
Okay, my bad.
But either way, it's far too soon.
It's pretty too soon, yeah.
That old now?
But I mean, I guess with them, like they figure out it makes money. Like if this was because this what came out 2010. This is like on the cusp of like them actually like like you said.
The 101 Dalmatians came before this because I know they had 101 Dalmatians and then 101 Dalmatians 2, and I think they had this, and then it wasn't until like I guess 2015, with Jungle Book. What was that one movie with the dragon, the green dragon, that I forgot? I guess it was forgettable. You guys don't know what I'm talking
I guess it was forgettable.
I guess it's forgettable because I don't know what you're talking about.
Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, like
Maleficent,
Little Mermaid, like Maleficent. Yeah, I guess Maleficent did come out in 2013. Yeah, but I think this movie kind of kickstarted that. Maybe.
Yeah, they probably saw oh, this can actually make us money. Might as well, because like it's a property. Like it's not saying it's niche, but it's definitely not their most popular IP. And they saw probably it made this much money. Imagine if we did like something that was more popular and see how much money.
Yeah, because they made a sequel back in 2016, I believe, called Looking Glass, which is pretty much a sequel to Alice in Wonderland. And I watched it, and I think it's not that good of a movie, but
see, I remember watching it when it came out, but I cannot for the life of me remember what the plot of the movie.
But
I just haven't.
I just remember time travel being a part of it, and like usually when time travel's in like a sequel movie, it's just like they didn't know what to do.
Speaking of time travel, sorry, y'all, we gotta end it. Well, that's all the time we have for today, but stay tuned for next week because right now we're going to delve into slice of life movies. Hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.